Welcome to another Crypto CEO show. We have Mikheil Didebulidze with us today. He's a co-founder and CEO at ArenaVS. He's an investor, he's the founder of DGameFi, he's a partner as well, and a co-founder at Sambrella. He does a bunch of things, but mostly in crypto, NFTs, and serial entrepreneur. He's founded probably about I would say 10-ish companies the last couple of years from Georgia. I'm in Oaxaca, Mexico, and this podcast is brought to you by podbuyer.com. If you want to start and launch your own podcast, you can go to Podbuyer. We have a free ebook showing you how to do this to get leads, partners, investors, sponsors. Podcast is a secret weapon that most of us do not think of using for biz dev nowadays. So podbuyer.com. Mika, welcome to the podcast. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, thanks, Charles, for the invitation. So I'll just go briefly about myself. As you mentioned, like mostly now I'm navigating into the crypto space. So I started this journey in 2017 with the industrial mining, and I've been in this space, like experimenting a lot of stuff from the token swap to the infrastructure creation for the Web2 dApps that are willing to move to the Web3. So we're mostly like specialized in this tooling, and we're like adding some interesting AI stuff to the Web3 infrastructure to accelerate this process and to make it like really smooth for the Web2 companies to start exploring the, let's say, the opportunities on the blockchain. And at the same time, like let's say I have combined also previously why I started with the Bitcoin mining, because my profession is like energy economist. So when I saw the opportunity, I just like put this mining facility there here in Georgia. And so yeah, I've been like in this space for more than 7 years. Currently, ArenaVS, what we do there is that we are bringing like promising projects to our platform and launching them through the NFT marketplace. That this is like very briefly. Plus, we're aggregating the data that is like powered by AI tooling and bringing all the information from the different sources to our platform, so easifying for our users to make up their minds whether the project is interesting for them or not. They can get a lot of information on our platform.
Right. And what phase of crypto are we in right now with like the new administration and everything that's happening? Are you seeing a crypto winter gone? Will it come back again? I believe BTC price is as high as it's ever been. So what are you seeing in this current market right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in this like different cycles. It was like more or less there was like always the progress. Also, this cycle is like very strange, but of course, price wise, like if we compare, let's say the Bitcoin price, of course, it's like higher. So I have like my opinion that is not like very super bullish, but anyway. So what I believe that, of course, for the mass adoption, all these like new administration incentives that are coming from the so high officials, these are like incentivizing a lot of people to try out what is like some things about the blockchain. But of course, the start of 2025 with this famous meme coin release and other things, I'm not like so a big fan of that, especially prioritizing one of the blockchains or prioritizing one of the spheres, and incentivizing also others, like to put their label there, like some influencers official and releasing their own meme coins. It's not about the crypto. In my opinion, I moved from the real sector to build something that makes sense, not to gamble in this space.
Right. And you've launched your first startup 2020-ish during COVID, I'd say. Like, is there a specific use case of crypto in Georgia itself and the ecosystem there? Like, why did you launch at this specific time?
Yeah, so in general, like I will give like very brief information about the Georgia, like on the Web3, from the Web3 perspective. Maybe it's interesting for our listeners. So Georgia is in the middle, like let's in the middle of the Caucasus, like in the center connecting Turkey and the the Central Asian countries and bringing it to the towards the Europe. So it became type of, let's say, Switzerland of this region where people are coming and meeting each other, like because the region is quite complex. There are a lot of conflicts around. And like also we're lucky because the administration is quite, let's say, liberal for the crypto regulations. So we have the virtual asset service provider licensing in Georgia, and we've been like also the pioneering like different like CBDCs or other type of stuff here in Georgia. And why I started, because like this was the moment when people like mostly were locked up in the at home, and with my, let's say, consumer oriented product, I thought that building something that makes sense and that is like that I can build fast could bring like some success to this idea.
Right. And you're into NFTs and games right now, so into Web3. Like, why make that specific shift and not just double down on your current companies? Why have you launched these as of late?
Yeah, sure. So my, let's say, what we like offer to the space is something that we believe that makes sense. So the NFTs that we're scouting are like, let's say, the utility based NFTs, and we have also released this type of AI agent that is like also managing our social media. So what we're saying is that we are like scouting around interesting projects that can give like fractionalized data, or that they have like some revenue share model with the through the NFTs, and we're trying to scout this type of collection and bring that to our marketplace. So for our users, they will have like at least from our side, we will be filtering the first stage of the projects. And so we are like specializing in that with like very good partnerships and the knowledge of the sector. So we choose that. And from for the gaming perspective, we have decreased the interest. Mostly we are concentrated on our marketplace now.
Right. And where are you spending the most of your time as a founder, as a business owner? Like, what does a day today in your life look like?
Yeah, I mean, as mentioned, like this year being like really, really hectic and chaotic because of the so in crypto, that the narratives and the, let's say, the directions are like changing so often. So my task in general is like to stay updated with all the things happening, like at least to have to see like what is coming, to understand what is needed, like from the human resource perspective or from I don't know, technology perspective. So me personally, now I'm like very much concentrated in the daily work, like in the operations, even though like the CEO mostly has to like more do like networking or other stuff or business development. But now we're like making this product very like in our opinion interesting. So I'm also involved in the day-to-day work here. And I was like, let's say, for 4 or 5 months not traveling for the conferences and stuff like that. But from tomorrow, I'm like also starting like small 1 month this type of trip with the I will be visiting a lot of conferences and sharing also some things that we have been incubating inside, like I mean the marketplace with the aggregation, and we'll be like open for like new partnerships now.
Right. And with ArenaVS, how do you see the future of content evolving with AI? Like, I use my AIs to build posts, right? Like, it starts off a great idea from this brain of mine that is pretty high powered, and then the AI develops the full idea and adds a layer of clarity, right? Because if I would explain my ideas by myself, I don't think most would understand them. I speak in a very specific way. I speak differently even from my ICP. So that's pretty much how I use AIs to create content. Plus, they even create images nowadays with Opus and Claude. So how do you see the future of content that is AI powered, and even can you see someday some AI agents publishing for you at some specific time, some specific news of the market, right? Where do you see AI content going?
Yeah, for the news perspective and the information wise, so also my friends are building something that is like, that are aggregating the data about the news, but it is like on for the Telegram use only. But from our perspective, so what we're building is that the data aggregator, so meaning that this information will be injected, and it's already injected in our AI agent that is like becoming smarter. And through the like fractionalized ownership through the NFTs, the users can be like, getting all this information about about there are like, also some on our platform, also for instance other project that is like mostly doing stuff about the DeFi. So about the content creation, there can be like, visual content on or a written content. So we are more concentrated on the written content that will be like, that will be distributed through our AI agent that is currently on social media, on Telegram and Twitter.
Right. And what are the current best apps in that field that are competing against you right now?
There are like, for instance, there are like different interesting projects that have already won. For instance, there is a very interesting and nice project called Cookie.fun that is like giving you like all the data about the projects, like the not only like let's say giving some scoring, but also the smart following. I don't know, the let's say the social sentiment and many other information that is useful for that. And there are like also the Kaito that went like live some weeks ago. They are also about the data aggregation. So for us, I can, and of course there are like giants on the NFT marketplace market like Magic Eden, OpenSea, and others. But what we are like trying to build is like is that it's one place where you can get informed and based on this information trade. So of course there are like some projects that are like quite big and winning, but we want to have our niche where we will be launching some projects that make sense, like utility based NFTs. And we want to have this the user base that is like getting all the information about the projects and not like just following some hypes.
Right. What kind of utility was my exact next question? Because yeah, NFTs. I mean, investing in a piece of digital art, still not super bullish on it on my side. I'd rather invest into like physical art or some stuff. And I've studied the crypto world for a while and Web3, and I know it's a piece of social stunt, as I called it, like the bored apes and so forth. Are people still bullish about NFTs? Where's the market going, especially if it's AI generated? Like it removes like a layer of authenticity. So where do you see that market going?
Yeah, I mean, as we remember, like there was a hype, mostly like on the last bull run, and everybody like it did a really good thing in general for the space, because I knew a lot of designers from the Web 2, from the traditional market, moving to the Web 3 and coming up with some storytelling and releasing some NFTs, and they start like sticking around with the Web 3 products. So it was I think it played a really positive role like 3 years ago. Currently, what I see, the some examples like big projects like Mega Ethereum that choose to go to the market through the NFTs. So what they're doing is that they're like building the layer 2 on Ethereum, and the commissions that they will be like collecting from the chain, they will be sharing the revenue like 5% to the NFT holders, right? So, for instance, this type of mints, they are still really, let's say, on fire, because they sold out like in the minutes, 5,000 collection, each cost 1 Ethereum, so it was quite a big collection. And even to get the whitelist for the mint, you had to pay on the secondary market, like on the, let's say, to get these whitelist spots. So if the project, like as a mean of, let's say, the increasing the reputation and increasing the user base and the interest towards the project, I think it's a good mean for like for the marketing in general, for the, let's say, as I said, increasing the interest, or as if it's like if it has like some real utility that is on demand, and you can fractionalize that through the NFTs. In that case, I think there will be, there is, and there will be always market on the web too. And I see that there are also coming, there are these people coming back. Like for instance, there is a one very big coffee producer that wants to experiment with the NFTs and release the the collection. So I see that the market is coming back step by step, and I think it will be increasing.
Do you think people can get rich off gaming? Because I believe the thesis is like, oh, we're all addicted to gaming and we're not making money while we play, right? So let's add a money layer to it. I think that most product market fit we've seen in that was like Axie Infinity. Are you bullish on that? Do you think people can really get rich? Back in my days, it was World of Warcraft and selling gold, right? Like hiring Chinese farmers and so forth, but I couldn't see that scale as a business model even. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, sure. So, what happened in 2021 on the last bull run, there were like a lot of big projects that have overpromised, overraised. They big like created a lot of expectation in the space, delivered not so much. Unfortunately, when they raised a lot of money, they switched their interest towards the token instead of the product. So honestly, there is a bit disappointment in the space from the user perspective, and also from the Web2 game developers that were like looking into this space, even though there are like some newcomers. So yeah, becoming rich from playing games. Yet I think that anyway, the concept behind the Web3 gaming is like interesting, especially when we're talking about the NFT use case inside the games. Because instead, when I was playing some games on, or I'm playing on the Web2 games, you are buying the assets like off chain, and they're remaining like you don't own them for that. For of course, the NFT use case is like very strong. For the rest, like with this Ponzi or some other mechanics, like that Axie Infinity or other project had, this is like based on the inflow of new users. So if the project is sustainable, if people like and enjoy playing, then I think there will be a big, let's say, the opportunity for the game developers to release the NFTs, and do the revenue from this, and for the users, of course, to be early and speculate once the game becomes bigger. So I think there is a direct and very good use case for the NFTs, but there are not a lot of interesting products, and not a lot of gamers that wants to experiment the Web3 gaming.
Right. And what's your number one challenge in building Arena VS? Like, what's been the struggle so far?
Yeah, the struggle was first, of course, it was like and even though like superficially it looks like very easy to understand how the crypto world works, like it took some time for me to get familiar with all the it's a specific marketing, it's a specific business development that you need to build around all this stuff. Also, like the teams that are working in the Web3, they have like very intense schedule, so you need always to scout people that can be like open for that and ready for that. So the biggest challenge, I think, anyway, was to from idea to realization, from idea to product. So these were like in the beginning the problems, because even though we had a good team in the beginning, so the estimation of the complexity of the products were like underestimated, as usual, like in the startups. But now I think like with my team, we're already together for 2 years, and now I think I have eliminated this the biggest headache for the founder, like tech support.
Right. And what are you learning on nowadays? What books are you reading? How are you growing this brain of yours?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, well, I'm like, trying to last maybe 5 years. I'm trying to mostly I read about, or entrepreneurship or, something related to my challenges that I have like in my mind, like also sometimes trying to find some answers in the books, of course, when you have like, this is like I think the best therapy. So yeah, different type of books, mostly about the business. And this is like, the mostly what I do. Uh, and the work, yeah, unfortunately in this space, me personally, I think I work like 16 hours and then sleep. And but I think that I need to increase like some also some activities like sports activities. I know that you are a big fan of the meditation. I need to start doing that as well. I want to learn from you as well some things, because I
Yeah, I
know.
have a free group for that, CEO meditation group, so you're free to join. It's every Wednesday p.m. What are your top goals for this year? Like, what do you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I want to like as we have completed the product, I'm like switching on the growth mode, growth stage. So I'm like excited about that. So I want to onboard a lot of interesting projects, and this year will be like very important for us. First, because we will be increasing the, let's say, the client base and user base, and plus we will be going to the market with the token. Anyway, this token release is like something that the community really is excited about. So we will need to release that. And I believe that from this, from the data aggregation and other things that we are like injecting into this AI agent, I think it will be becoming more and more interesting information that will be spread by our AI agent. So I'm excited about that our roadmap that we have in mind to fulfill that, and to position ourselves as one of the, let's say, interesting projects on the market.
Micah, where can people find out more about you?
So yeah, we are now also live on the Twitter. I'm like active on the LinkedIn as well. So I will be happy like to connect with the like-minded people.
It was Mika and Charles for another CEO Wisdom